All right, so welcome to 7.1a. Our objective is that I can use inequality symbols and graph inequalities on a number line. Before we talk about inequalities, we need to refresh equations. I know we just looked at how to solve two-step equations, but it's important to remember why inequalities and equations are different. We have two examples of equations. We have 2x equals 8, and we have a plus 9 equals negative 14. So equations tell us that something is equal to something else. There is only one solution. 2 times something equals 8. It can't be multiple somethings. A plus 9 equals negative 14. A has a single number that fits, that works to make this true. Inequalities, on the other hand, don't really work that way. Here we have 2x is greater than 8, or a plus 9 is less than or equal to 50. Inequalities tell us if something is bigger or smaller or equal to something else. There can be many solutions. So inequalities can have more than one possible solution that makes it true. It's been a bit since we've looked at inequality symbols, but they're important. So there's a couple symbols, and there's a couple words that we use to describe them. This symbol right here, it's the carrot that goes to the left. Think about it like an alligator that wants to eat the bigger thing. We read this as is less than. So I could say that 2 is less than 3. We would also see fewer than or below used in a word problem to describe a situation where we would use that symbol. The next one we have, this one is the carrot that goes to the right. We would read this as is greater than. 5 is greater than 1. We see the words, excuse me, more than or above in word problems. Next, we have what looks like the is less than symbol, but there's a line underneath because we're adding or equal to. So this means is less than or equal to, which is why we have half of an equal sign at the bottom. You might see at most or no more than. So something could be less than or equal to a, like we saw up here. This statement, something plus 9, must be less than, or it could be equal to 50. So this could be 41 plus 9 is less than or equal to 50, and that would be true. And lastly, we have is greater than or equal to, again, half of an equal sign underneath, at least or no less than. So this is important. You're going to revisit this page relatively often. Now, how do we graph inequalities? Well, there's two different ways that we graph inequalities depending on the symbol. If we have an inequality like g is less than or equal to negative 2, we're going to use a closed circle because of the or equal to. So we would put a dot right here, a closed circle saying it could be negative 2. And then we're going to draw a line. But it could also be anything smaller than that. So it could be anything to the left. Now here we have w is greater than negative 7. We're going to use an open circle because there's no equal sign. The open circle says negative 7 is an important number in this statement, but w can't equal negative 7. It can only be anything greater or to the right of negative 7. So closed sign, you're going to use for these guys, or open circle, sorry, you're going to use for these guys. Less than or greater than. A closed circle you are going to use for greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. So if it's got the line underneath, close it. If it doesn't have the line, open it. All right, you're going to go ahead and move on to practice. There's an IXL, or you can do the worksheet. Let us know if you have questions.